Alright, a very good afternoon to you. I'm Griffin Epstein, just moments before kickoff here as the Terra Trojans are battling your Petaluma Trojans. Both teams are undefeated on the season, 2-0. It's the Trojans' first trip on the road. They have blown out their first two opponents, and this kick is going to head out of bounds, be a penalty. Mr. Jackson fields it very well, and the Trojans will start at the 40 with that penalty. Justin Wolbert is the Trojan starting quarterback. He'll start under center. Jacob Ralston behind him. Sends the man in motion, hands it off to Ralston. About a 4-yard pickoff to start this one, and the Trojan offense looks to keep on rolling after two very effective games. They had an electric game against Montgomery, helped by Garrett Freitas. 2 kickoff returns, and a lot of running pretty much everywhere. They're so deep at the running back position, and you will see that a lot. You'll see a lot of men in motion, and here's the toss out to Ayers. Breaks a tackle, and he's downed at the 40. First down for the Trojans. This ball's out, and the Trojans have had a fumbling problem, and that was not covered very well by the O-lineman, who the Trojan O-lineman was there first. They will get it. Haggard bobbled it, and I'm not sure who came down with it. The Trojans have had their fumbling problems, and that will continue. That toss before that play was to Eric Diaz out wide. And a couple injuries for this game for the Trojans they will be dealing with. John Cando remains in street clothes on the sideline, but Riley Wisman, one of the defensive captains, also in street clothes. So second and long now. Woolwert will attempt his first pass, and he finds the receiver. Isaiah Blomgren is the leading Trojan receiver. He had a monster game last week against Santa Rosa, tackled by Leon. Blomgren took a screen in the second quarter against Santa Rosa, 74 yards to the house for the touchdown. And the Trojans did not pass a lot against Montgomery. They didn't need to, but they did need to against Santa Rosa when their offense slowed down, and they found it effective. Wolbert over 100 passing yards, first time in his career. Hand off to the junior breakout Freitas. Not a lot on the third down. I'm sorry. That is Wisman. And so 4th and 14, the Trojans will have to punt it away. So it's my bad, it's Freitas in street clothes and not Wisman. Not sure why, but that will affect them, especially in their special teams, which has been so effective. Nick Ayers will punt it away. He's not accustomed to this, with the Trojans putting up 40 points in their first two games. And this is a low liner that will bounce around and be downed around the 20. Terra will take over now after the good pump by Ayers. And Terra has had great offensive success themselves, both on the ground and in the air. And right now it's on the ground. He's got it open seam. One man to beat him. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Terra. It took one play, and they burst the Trojan defense. That was really very good. It's Colby Johnson for the Terra Trojans all the way into the end zone, and that was not the start you were looking for defensively for the Trojans, who were torched by Montgomery through the air in the first game, but they bounced back, completely shutting down Santa Rosa last Friday. And the Trojans have a defensive line that looked very, very good last week, but Johnson took the toss out wide, and it was not a problem. PAT for Terra is blocked. That had no height on it at all, so it will stay 6-0. First play, and Terra takes it to the house, and the Trojans are down for the first time all season long. As we mentioned, is Coach Chris trying to fire up the team. They opened up the season rolling past Montgomery, 55-42 in a game where their defense did not play well. Joey Thresh for Montgomery look like the next Joe Montana, threw for over 400 yards. But the Trojan offense was very, very good themselves. And they held back the Vikings with the help of Garrett Freitas' breakout game. And then Santa Rosa last week, the defense stepping up as they limited the Panthers to only 20 passing yards and just 100 and just over 100 rushing yards. But already a 70-yard rushing touchdown there for Terra Linda. Trojans got one first down before they had to punt it away. And now they will receive. With Freitas not there, it'll be Turner and Trey Davis back. And this is a much better kick. It bounces and is picked up by Trey Davis, who has speed. A good tackle at the 30
Trey Davis takes it out to the 29-yard line.
by Terra Linda. Zabrick with the tackle. Trojans have so much depth at running back, so even though they will be missing Freitas, there are plenty of other options. And Jacob Ralston always gets a lot, but he has just fumbled the ball, and Terra Linda has recovered it. And this is a poor start for Petaluma. Ralston's had a fumble problem. He fumbled one against Monty, which was recovered, and they're in a lot of traffic. The ball was stripped right out, and Terra Linda will take a right back over. So the Trojan defense trying to rebound after that 70-yard touchdown run, but Terra Linda can pass the football too, led by their quarterback, who was a little dip and dunk down the sideline. A good tackle by Davis out wide, but that's a first down. It's Matt Peters, the senior quarterback for Terra Linda, started for them last year. And these two Trojan teams met last year at Ellison Field at senior night, and the Trojans were on a roll. That concluded their 7-game win streak. And the Trojans, Petaluma Trojans, pulled away from Terra Linda in that one, 20-point victory. In a defense that really imposed its will, but it does lose some players from that team. But they really shut down a one-dimensional Santa Rosa team last Friday. But there definitely was concern after that Monty game, and so far we're seeing it. Now the ball's on the ground as Peters did not cleanly pick up the snap, and lucky just to get it back, he landed right on it. Heat will affect things here today. Not as hot as last weekend, but still about 85 degrees, and there is no shade anywhere at the moment on this field. 2 p.m. kick here, no lights anywhere in Marin County. And the Trojan defensive line trying to get some pressure. You can see big number 70, Luke Haggard. He's the team captain. Xavier Crisdell right next to him. And the right side of the line for the Trojans is pointed to. It's the secondary that they've been concerned about. Much more younger, much more unexperienced. And Terra Linda will now use a timeout. So if you were watching our game last week, late in that fourth quarter, the Trojans' victory over Santa Rosa, Garrett Freitas left the game with an injury, and that is what's keeping him out, as we have a screen out wide here and a great tackle. Oh, gang of Trojans gets in there and tackles Martinez. Jacob Ralston, the linebacker, and running back, the first one in there, leaves Martinez for the Terra Linda a little shaken up. That was a lot of energy. And so Freitas sprained the calf, and then he rolled it out, which he shouldn't have done. Just wanted to get back out and practice, and then he is now out at least this week. They're hoping he's back next week, but we will see. Justin Turner's had some electric returns, though, as kicking and punt returning. So they will certainly miss Freitas' electricity and at the running back game, but that is not a position where they are short on depth. Peters in the gun. And he's going to take off, and he's dragged down. That's a great play, as Peters looked like he had a hole, but it was number 47, Derek Pomey, the inside linebacker and junior, who plays with a chip on his shoulder always, who dragged Peters down. as that was the 4th and 2. They do not get it. Petaluma takes back over. Something they badly needed, as it was not a good start to this one. 6-0 Terra Linda, 7:10 remaining. Handoff up the middle. A couple yards. Dominic Ayers, the senior, had a good game against Santa Rosa. 5 carries in that one for over 50 yards, 78 yards total on the season. And he is trying to build on that today, and they're going to need him. He's going to be back up behind Ralston. We've already signed Eric Diaz, though. Wolbert will take it himself in this triple option. Picked up a yard. So that will bring up a 3rd down and about 7. The Trojan offense being stifled so far by Terra Linda. We mentioned 3rd and 4 they're going to call it. Not a great angle to see the yard markers. Terra Linda has silenced. They defeated Richmond and then Oakland last week, both on the road. Neither team scored more than 15. Handoff to Turner. He's found a seam, and Justin Turner, the senior, has a 1st down. Trojans at the 47 of Terra Linda. And Woolwert will hand it off again to Turner, but this time he is met in the backfield and taken down by Zabrick, who we have already seen a few times. He's a force on this D. And mentioned the Terra Linda's previous 2 games. They were not against great teams, but they rolled past both Richmond and Oakland. Final score in those games was neither one was close, but that could work against Terra Linda. That they played a close game. It was 53-6, 43-8, Richmond, Oakland, respectively. In the I form, and Wolbert has done a really good job so far this season drawing the defense off. I think that's the 3rd time I've seen that, except I think they're going to roll a false start before that, as the Trojans in white are backing up. Indeed a false start, so that will make it 2nd and 13. 17. It was 2nd and 13 before, after the loss by Turner. Pretty sparse crowd today, especially on the Terra Linda sideline. So hot out. Trojans fans, though, have come out in force behind me. Wolbert fakes it, rolls on out, and the catch is made by Ralston, who loves to go on the flat, but he fumbled it again. And I believe Terra Linda has recovered again. And Jacob Ralston, so good, but right now he just cannot hold on to the football. It's Zabrick again, who's been all over the field for Terra Linda. And Jacob Ralston cannot hold on to the football. Trojans had 2 fumbles. Petaluma Trojans had 2 fumbles last week. And now they already have 2 here, and that has stalled their last 2 drives. Coach Christ can't believe it. 4:43 remaining here in the first. 6-0 Terra Linda. The Petaluma Trojan defense. Sorry, but the confusion is going to be all day. Came up big, and they got that pressure on the defensive line that they wanted. And they do again here, as there's maybe a yard pickup before the tackle is made. Zabrick with the carry. Terra Linda will start its league play next week against Redwood. Derek Pomey with another tackle. And he's already had a big start to his varsity career. 5 tackles first 2 games, and already 2 here, including that big 4th down stop. No players in the backfield here. And the secondary for the Trojans will be tested. Davis almost intercepted it. He read that one well. Pass was a little high to Simpkins of Terra Linda. And that will bring up a 3rd down and 8 with the ball on, I believe, about the 36. Petaluma cheerleaders made the trip south along with the team, and they are providing good spirit for the fans in purple that are braving the hot sun. And it's hot. No shade anywhere along this field. So Trojans trying to get off the field again after 2 consecutive fumbles. They've already been on a lot. Man comes in motion. Peters takes the snap. Under pressure. Oh, that was caught. A great play with the man in motion. He needs the juke to get the first, and he does.
Peters completes the pass out
It was Martinez came in a little roll route to the right,
for a Trojan first.
and it looked like there was no one there. But as you saw, Peters coming out of your picture to haul it in. And 1st and 10 from about midfield. 3:46 remaining in another strange first quarter here that has not gone right for the Trojans. 2 turnovers. This is going... Oh, it was a good fake, actually. Thought the handoff was to Martinez. Peters took it himself, but it didn't matter. Luke Haggard knew where it was going, and the defensive captain will make an impact any game he is playing in. He looks like a player that can play on Saturdays at a bigger level. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and long. Three minutes and counting. 2nd and 15. And Terra back in their own territory. And this pass is looking long right to me. Almost intercepted. Good coverage by Eric Diaz, who's looking a little bit cramped up right in front of me. But he raced down the field and was right on his man. Had a chance at the interception. Peters hasn't looked great looking downfield. Just to get an idea of the size of Haggard, 6'8", 280. And just such a force. Already leads the team with 10 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 assists, 3 tackles for loss. Those are all team leaders on the defense. And he was all Redwood Empire on both offense as the offensive lineman and on defense. So 3rd and long. Peters under pressure. It was Haggard chasing him. They got off the screen, and there goes Martinez. He's got 1 man to beat, and he is gone. Touchdown, Terra. The Trojans got good pressure, but that is very risky on the screen. And in that play, Martinez burst through the secondary, and he's got some speed. And now 12-0, 2:39 remaining. Extra point upcoming with the Trojans just blocked on the first touchdown. And we might see going for 2 after the last kick by Terra was ugly. But we're going to have a timeout by Terra, who had no idea what was happening. 2nd timeout on Terra. According to Max Preps, these teams are pretty even. According to records, they're even. But the Trojans did not lost only 11 seniors from last year. Some key ones, but a lot of returning players. But right now, I think the game's been even. It's just been mistakes that have plagued the Trojans. Petaluma, that is. And a few big plays by Terra. And they had a little bit of adversity in that Santa Rosa game, but they were never trailed. Santa Rosa will go for 2. 2 men in the backfield. Peters will fake, and he looks right in the flat, and they've got the 2-point conversion. A really nice well-run play. 14-0. Johnson, who scored the first touchdown, gets the 2-point conversion. Can the Trojan offense bounce back? We're stopped on the first, but then 2 fumbles, both by Jacob Rolson. And there aren't as many options behind him with Freitas out. We saw Eric Diaz with a carry. Other options, Justin Turner, but he is not a player accustomed to getting a huge amount of carries in a game. He can break one, that's for certain, but he's really the change of pace back. There are a few other options, though. Deep on the depth chart, Davis will field this one. And he is tackled at the 29. 4th possession. Wolbert just 1 completion so far. We'll see if he tries more of that. He wasn't bad against Santa Rosa. They went to the pass more when they could experiment with it, but he got so much better late in that season, and you just have to hope that can be better, because right now Terra Linda is locking down on the run, and they have a gnarly defensive line that has not been allowing a lot of room. Ayers with 4, Dominic Ayers that is. His younger cousin is Nick Ayers. That would be the punter and backup tight end. One option for the Trojans to look for would certainly be Hayden Failure. Tight end led the team receiving last year. This is a handoff to Wisman and a first down. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the fake. The QB fake by Wolbert. And sometimes that's just going to be the most efficient play for the Trojans. First down for the Petaluma at their own 46. 1:45 and counting. Terra Linda leading 14-0. And no men in the backfield this time. But here comes the man in motion. That's Turner. And not sure what they were trying there, but Wolbert went down in a hurry. He's going to lose at least 2. Key with the tackle for Terra Linda. They did get it off to Dominic Ayers, but there was not much time for anything else. The O-line there for the Trojans was overwhelmed, but they are very experienced. All 5 returned from the varsity team last year. 3 were starters. Haggard and Crysdale anchor it. Both on the left side of the line, with Sembita to Carly. Also there, Wisman comes in motion. Instead, the handoff is to Ralston. 5-yard pickup will bring up a big 3rd down and 5. And this is a big one here for the Trojans. They need to reverse the momentum right now with under a minute to go. And they have not gotten it. They've gotten some things going, but fumbles have largely stalled the Trojans, and they cannot afford to give it back to the Terra Linda offense right now. Wolbert under center. And he fakes. Nice fake to Turner. And just had to get out of the way there because Justin Turner was coming towards me, as were a pack of Terra Linda blue jerseys, and they're going to call a late hit, I believe. Yes, a late hit, as Turner was already out of bounds after he'd picked up the first down, and it was a really nice fake on the read option there by Wolbert, as Terra Linda was definitely fooled. About 2 defenders were shadowing Wolbert, and there was only 1 on Turner, so that was pretty much a 1-on-1. And Justin Turner's speed in the open field is masterful. And so the Trojans all of a sudden get down to the 24 with the 15-yard penalty tacked on at the end of a 10-yard run by Turner. And Wolbert will hand it off. There is a laundry on the field. Eric Diaz maybe got a yard there, but we will await the penalty. And I believe it is going to be holding. Indeed marching back. Tackle by Brian Lopez. The 10-yard holding penalty. And clock stop. This should be the last play of the first quarter. 4 seconds remaining. 1st and 20, and they are not going to get a playoff. End of the first quarter, 14-0 Terra Linda. For the start of the second quarter here, Terra Linda Field, under sunny skies, a light breeze at 84 degrees. And not the start that Petaluma Trojans were looking for against a talented Terra Linda squad that returns a lot of the players that are obviously looking for revenge after their loss last year. They've looked a little bit more motivated so far. And the 2 fumbles very costly. This is a nice pass in the slot for a 6-yard pickup. And Hayden Failure, as we mentioned, that was definitely someone that the Trojans wanted to look for. Out of the slot, so physical, so big, very imposing, and great hands. Led him to be the leading receiver. He has just 2 catches so far this year for 22 yards. A touchdown, though, big one against Montgomery early in that game to really put them ahead. Wilbert in the center, man on the backfield. He's going to look out wide. It was way overthrown.
Wilbert's pass is long.
And shaking his head.
3rd and 5 for Petaluma.
Is the Trojan receiver. That would be Failure, who was split out wide. You don't see that a lot, but he's not that tall. He'll again split out wide. It will be errors in the backfield. We have not seen a lot of Ralston offensively after those 2 fumbles, and I'm pretty sure this time he did draw him off sides, and it was not a false start. Indeed, he did. So the first time it looked like Wilbert had
The Trojans jump.
masterfully drawn Terra off sides. The rest didn't give it to him, but this time they do. And with it being 3rd down and 4, that makes it a first down. So Petaluma trying to get it out. Wilbert has Diaz in motion. He'll hand it off out wide. It was the Diaz, and Wilbert got absolutely killed. I think you saw that behind the play, as it was good design, and no one knew who had the ball.
Looks like there's a penalty.
And that's gonna bring a half to the goal line, and the Trojans should get it. Petaluma at about the 2, and a good position to punch it in. With exactly 11:11 remaining here in the first half, trying to cut this lead in half. They certainly feel good about their PATs, maybe not Terra. Isaiah Blomgren, perfect so far. 11 of 11 on his PATs the first 2 games. Personal foul indeed, so that brings it half distance to the goal. They'll put it at the 3, and the Trojans looking to... Wilbert under center, hands it off up the middle. Touchdown Trojans! They have punched it in here, and an extra point will cut it in half. Couldn't see who it was up the middle, but they marched down the field and get it. Could you see who that was with the touchdown? Jacob Ralston bounces back after the 2 fumbles. I think that was the first carry they gave him, but they trust the big man at the goal line to punch it in. And now Isaiah Blomgren will head out for the extra point. As we mentioned, he's perfect on the year, 11 for 11. Turner with the hold. DeCarly with the snap, and now he's no good. That looked like might have gone off the side of his foot. He just had nothing on that at all. He misses the first PAT, so 14-6 the score, 11:01 remaining. For the start of the second quarter here, Terra Field, under sunny skies, a light breeze at 84 degrees, and not the start that Petaluma Trojans were looking for against a talented Terra squad that returns a lot of the players that are obviously looking for revenge after their loss last year. They've looked a little bit more motivated so far, and the 2 fumbles very costly. This is a nice pass in the slot for a 6-yard pickup, and Hayden Failure. As we mentioned, that was definitely someone that the Trojans wanted to look for. Out of the slot, so physical, so big, very imposing, and great hands. Led him to be the leading receiver. He has just 2 catches so far this year for 22 yards. A touchdown, though, big one against Montgomery early in that game to really put them ahead. Wilbert in the center, man on the backfield. He's going to look out wide. It was way overthrown.
Wilbert's pass is long.
And shaking his head.
3rd and 5 for Petaluma.
Is the Trojan receiver. That would be Failure, who was split out wide. You don't see that a lot, but he's not that tall. He'll again split out wide. It will be Ayers in the backfield. We have not seen a lot of Ralston offensively after those 2 fumbles, and I'm pretty sure this time he did draw him off sides, and it was not a false start. Indeed, he did. So the first time it looked like Wolbert had
The Trojans jump.
masterfully drawn Terra Linda off sides. The rest didn't give it to him, but this time they do. And with it being 3rd down and 4, that makes it a first down. So Petaluma trying to get it out. Wolbert has Diaz in motion. He'll hand it off out wide. It was to Diaz, and Wolbert got absolutely killed. I think you saw that behind the play, as it was good design, and no one knew who had the ball.
Looks like there's a penalty.
And that's going to bring a half to the goal line. And the Trojans should get it, Petaluma, at about the 2. And a good position to punch it in. With exactly 11:11 remaining here in the first half. Trying to cut this lead in half. They certainly feel good about their PATs. Maybe not Terra Linda. Isaiah Blomgren, perfect so far. 11 of 11 on his PATs the first 2 games. Personal foul indeed, so that brings it half distance to the goal. They'll put it at the 3, and the Trojans looking to Coach Chris gathering the whole team around on that last possession, or last break of the action, and trying to encourage positivity, no more negativity, he said, as this team has just looked a little bit down. It's uncertain whether is it the heat, is Terra Linda just a little more motivated, or is the shadow of the Egg Bowl next week, which we'll talk about a little bit more later,
Kickoff, Petaluma.
possibly distracting this team. Coach Chris, Isaiah Blomgren, we talked after last game, dismissed that would not happen. But maybe it's not, and Blomgren almost went out. It onside kicked it right out of that quick huddle, but now we'll settle back and get ready to send it away. Terra Linda offense will take back over. 2 touchdown drives. Trojans stopped them once, but they've looked as good as advertised with 40 points scored. It's a squibber ball on the ground now. Terra Linda lands on it. And it'll be good field position at the 35. Martinez landed on it. 1st and 10 at the 34 for Terra Linda, who have mixed up the passing and running. They have certainly not been one-dimensional, and they have kept the Trojans on their toes. Peters hands it off to the man in motion, and he breaks 1 tackle, but not a lot there. Got out of the arms of Ayers, but was shoved out.
Picks up about a yard.
About a yard. 2nd and 9. 11, under 11 now. Crysdale forced him out. Another returning senior on this defense. And the key for the Trojans right now, don't let that running back get to the secondary, because the Trojans have shown that they just do not have the ability or speed in that secondary to chase down Martinez or the backup running back for the Trojans. And right now, I believe that is Crysdale, who's not feeling so good. Coach Chris comes out. He's holding his arm, and you have to hope he's okay, because he is an important source on the Trojan defensive line and O-line. And like trainer looking at him, he will head off. And some inexperience on the Trojan defense now. We'll try to quiet this experienced and potent Terra Linda squad. Peters under pressure, tipped over the middle, it's intercepted! Derek Povey! What a game so far. He has had 2 big tackles. The ball was tipped at the defensive line, and Derek Povey, the junior, takes it. We mentioned he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he is having quite a game so far. The Trojans needed a turnover, and that will breed positivity, as there is a lot of excitement right now on the Trojan sideline, and they will take over at the Terra 47. Second interception forced into the season by the Trojan defense. Blomgren got one last week, but it's been Derek Pomey, the middle linebacker, the junior, who is right now the all-star, and Justin Wolbert's hard count is working to effect, and this is exactly how you start to frustrate a defense. And we'll see if they have trust back in Ralston to carry it again after the touchdown. He is indeed behind Wolbert in the backfield. Man comes in motion. It is Turner, but instead it's the handoff to Ralston, who finds a big hole. And he has a first down and more. A 15-yard pickup for Jacob Ralston. And he looked like he has regained his confidence after those 2 early fumbles. He has got Ralston, but not after 15 yards. And he has definitely regained his confidence. So huge. Wisman comes in motion. Handoff is to Ralston again, but this time he is met. Key and Zabrick, who's been a source on offense and on defense for Terra Linda. He's been their star with the tackle. Second down. And changes with Havard coming in, along with Ayers. So far, just 2 catches for the Trojans. Wolbert's mainly been in the triple option, but it's really been a double option of him taking it himself or handing it out. And this time he takes it himself. You have to have a trained eye as he picks up about 2 yards. You have to have a trained eye to figure out who has it at first. Wolbert has done such a good job at designing that to hand it off to the fullback, whether it's Ralston or it's Ayers. And this will bring up a 3rd and 7, though, with only 1 yard picked up. And a big play in this one. With the Trojans really having the momentum, they want to capitalize. It's Ayers in the backfield. Wolbert fakes it. And now he looks downfield, and it's just over the outstretched fingers of Blomgren. It was just a little too high. And Blomgren got his fingertips on it, and he could just not haul it in. That would have been sweet. Blomgren and Wolbert have probably... Blomgren and Wolbert have really shown a good connection for the receiving corps, but not able to connect up there. And the Trojans are going for it, trying to seize that momentum. Man comes in motion. Wolbert rolls out. He looks at Blomgren. Now he's under pressure. Now he breaks a tackle. Now the pass was almost intercepted. He was looking for Turner. The Trojans will turn it over on downs. 7:30 remaining here in the half. In the gun. And the diving attempt. I'm sorry there are people in the way there, but could not hold on. Martinez went out into the slot, and this is going to be a punt. No Garrett Freitas, unfortunately, back today for the Trojans, but they obviously pray that he'll be back for the Egg Bowl next week, and you know he's going to do everything to play in that game. The rivalry will return after 7 years of dormancy. But right now, the Trojans are locked in a battle on this one. Casa hasn't looked too good. They fell to San Marin. There's a flag on this one. Davis just lets it go. Not a bad punt. It will take a Trojan bounce to the 50. I'll say it's at the 45. Moreno with the punt. But they're going to re-kick this one. So false start on Terra Linda is the call. They will re-kick. And this time they'll switch out Trey Davis with Justin Turner, who's electric. He had a big game against Santa Rosa. 2 runs of over 60 yards. He led them in rushing with 104 yards against Santa Rosa. And this is a high but short kick. You've got to make sure it doesn't hit you. The Trojans do a good job avoiding that. And it's down by the team in blue. And a good field position for Petaluma at the 38. And they will take over. 7:07 remaining. Trying to plug it in, and all the momentum right now in the boys in white. Daniel DeCarli, the junior, one of the 3 returning juniors from last year, gets ready to snap it with Wolbert under center. Hands it off to the fullback. That is Ralston, and he's found a big seam. He's stumbling all the way down to the 16, and that is one of those great plays by the O-line who just pays a small seam for the Trojan running back to fit through, and all of a sudden what could be a 3 or 4 yard pickup becomes a 15-yard pickup, as that one did. First down and 10 for Terra Linda. And that was a big play in that game for Terra Linda to get the stop after the Trojans looked like, Petaluma Trojans, looked like they had some momentum here. And you could tell we get a lot of high school football games. It's just not even. These two teams are both good. And this is going to be a battle into the 4th quarter. It's going to be a war of attrition, no doubt. But these big plays will matter. Peter hands it off, and a gang tackling. Havard was in there. Pomey was in there. A collection of Trojan inside linebackers. About a 3-yard pickup for Zabrick. He has 1 touchdown. Martinez the other for Terra Linda. But the Trojan defense maybe starting to stall its will a little bit more. Crysdale not yet back in there. So taking his place is Jacob Cybulski. Another senior, though, and he does have experience there. Peter's under pressure. Now he's racing, and he's dragged down by the Trojans. Haggard was in there. I believe, though, they'll give the sack to Cybulski, who we just mentioned. Sanchez and Oliveira also on the line right now. And now it's going to be 3rd and 14. Already, I believe, 3rd sack today for the Trojans. Wolbert's under center. Turner comes in motion. Handoff up the middle. Touchdown, Trojans! Jacob Ralston punches it in. And it is 14-12. It will be decision time for Coach Christ if he wants to go for 2 and tie it up. Or if you want to send Isaiah Blomgren, who's been so reliable most season, but just had an unconfident-looking PAT attempt. They will huddle up, and that means likely a 2-point conversion is in the cards. Indeed. Ralston behind Wolbert. Turner in motion. Handoff to Ralston. Oh, he's driven the wrong way. And that is a stop for Terra Linda. A way to regain their momentum. And Terra Linda maintains their lead 14-12. Zabrick has been big for Terra Linda. 5:27 remaining. Terra Linda 14, Petaluma 12. Trojans have forced 3 turnovers over the course of the year, and they made it 4 today with the Derek Pomey interception. And they have locked down on Terra Linda after they scored on the opening play of their offense. And then on their 3rd drive, Simpkins is back. Blomgren will boot it away. Last time it was a little bit of a squibber. We'll see what he does here. He lays into that one. That is a boomer, and it takes a good bounce. Now it's going to have to be picked up by Terra Linda. He avoids tackles. Now he's getting some momentum down the sideline. Still not down, and finally brought down at the 19. Pomey with another tackle. And this might not be the best spot for me. There are a lot of coaches. And 5:20 remaining. And the Trojans would love to get the ball back. The Petaluma Trojans, that is, would love to get the ball back and have enough time to drive it and take the lead. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Terra Linda has just 1. And in an interesting formation here, Under pressure, it's the toss out wide to Martinez. Martinez has room, and he's got one man to beat. Down the sideline, he is gone. That's more down the middle, right down the gut. Touchdown, Terra Linda. Colby Johnson, who we saw with the big first run of the game that Terra Linda turned into points, and he's done it again. That's pretty much his role. He's sort of like Justin Turner for Petaluma with those big runs, and he just went right down the middle, and after he got through the defensive line, that secondary just is not fast enough, and they cannot catch the speed. That's going to be a concern all year long. It looks like they're going to try for two again. Under center, and it's tipped. A good tip, as that was Barrel with the tip, one of our members of Trojan Live. So that will keep it a 20-12 game. Couldn't plug it in last time when they were down in the red zone and had to turn it over on downs. Wispin comes in motion, but the handoff is to the fullback, spinning, darting, and diving to the 4 is Rolston, who has looking much better in this second quarter. And the Trojans have dealt with a lot of adversity already. That would be Petaluma. And they have to be thrilled with the effort, as that motivational speech by Coach Christ has looked so good so far. And instructed to go back. They're anticipating the fade route. I was almost killed once today, so I mean, I completely understand. Wolbert sends the man in motion, and he fakes it. No, I'm sorry, it was handoff to Ralston, but he could not get. No, what? It was Wolbert. The trickery was good, but it didn't fool the defensive line, and he maybe got 2. So, second down now. Moreno to kick it away. And there, Miss Freitas definitely on the kick returns. He averages 40 yards on the kick returns. And right now, Turner and Davis have done a good job, but not great. But that kick's not great, and the Trojans are going to get it at the 35. And the Trojans are actually going to decide to kick it again, so that will just back up Terra Linda. So they kick from the 35. Now they will kick from the 30. If my math serves me correct there. The wind's picked up, but the heat has not slowed down on this Saturday. And that could definitely affect a team. Petaluma did not play any Saturday games last year. But they've got one here. They've got one next week. With the Egg Bowl always on a Saturday. It's been 6 years, but that is the tradition. So they'll maintain it. So 5 yards back, Terra Linda will kick it. Moreno will send it away again for Terra Linda, who, while I don't think is expected to beat Marin Catholic, might be playing the favorite for second, which is really like a championship in MCAL, with Marin Catholic, the powerhouse, leading that. This is Davis. A solid return out to about the 40.
To the 42-yard line for Petaluma.
Marin Catholic, of course, the home of Jared Goff, now the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, and a former number 1 overall pick. Johnson, who has 2 touchdowns today, with the tackle. And the Trojan offense will head back out there. They've punted just once, but they have more turnovers than they have touchdowns. And right now, these teams are too even. The Trojans cannot lose the turnover battle. They're going to have to get some more from the defense, but first, they're going to need to get some scoring from their offense. Man comes in motion, handoff up the middle. And that was a fake by Wolbert. He gets nothing.
Picks up about a yard.
Give him 2. 2nd and 8. And the Trojans tried a few pass plays, but downfield, Wolbert has just not been able to hook up with his receivers. He's really looked for Blomgren all day long. And they have talked about they really have a very good connection together, those two players. This is the handoff to Turner. He broke 2-1s last game, but so far he's been kept pretty quiet, and he only picks up about a yard there. And that's going to make it 3rd and 7. And under 4 remaining. Both teams trying to remain undefeated on the year. As we mentioned, Trojans face Casa next week. And then it's Annalee. It's a big schedule coming up. After they outshot Montgomery in that shootout, and then they were too much for Santa Rosa, who a little bit self-destructed in that game, and arguably the Trojans have done some of the same here. But a lot of credit to Terra and Colby Johnson, who's been electric, just running it. Wolbert's got all day. He's got a man right at the first down marker. That is how you run a route, Riley Wisman. That's a great route by Riley Wisman, who came back. He was wide open, and probably if he had gone over the top, he would have been gone if they could have hooked up. But they're actually going to rule him just short of that first down marker, and this is a big 4th down play here. The Trojans pretty good at picking up 1 yard with their beef up front. Ralston is the fullback, and that's likely where they would give it, and they do. He doesn't get a lot, but he does get 1. I'm sorry, that's Ayers, who they have rotated with Ralston, whether they want him as the short yardage guy. It was Connor Richardson last year in that role, but he has graduated. Wolbert under center. It's Wisman, who had his first offensive touchdown against Santa Rosa way back. They will give it to him. He sees a hole, and he lost the football. Ball on the ground. And they ruled Terra. Chris is saying his knee was down. And everyone is yelling at the refs, but they're saying Terra ball. And now the refs are gonna get together. I did not get a good look at it, but I believe they're saying that the ball hit the ground and then it came out. The Trojans cannot afford another fumble, and every whole Trojan star line now eagerly staring at the refs, who are gathered right in front of me.
They'll have a first down.
Wisman had the first. They're going to say that it did indeed go off. The ball came loose after the football hit the ground, and it is a first down for the Trojans, who could not afford another fumble. And that is indeed the ruling. So, under 2 left, and I believe they are going to give this a second down because the ball, he was down at the 39, is what the refs ruled, and therefore that ball was dead once it went cornering away. So 2nd and 2, Wolbert under center, Wisman again in the backfield, handoff to Ralston. No, I'm sorry, Wolbert took it himself. Great play design. He tried to gain the edge. He couldn't, but I think it's enough for the first. It is. Pick up about 3. Trojans get a vital first down, 1:30 and counting. They have all 3 timeouts at their disposal, so can't be in too much of a time crunch. But on the other hand, they cannot be lethargic, which the Trojans love to do, but they just have not gotten too many great rhythms with all the fumbles. This is Ralston stumbling forward all the way to the 25. Trojans call timeout. They're going to get watered all offense. This is a vital offensive possession for the Trojans to finish. It's a 2-possession game right now, with them trailing by 16, and they would love to get it down to a single possession at halftime. Trojans have put up over 400 yards in both of those first 2 games, including overall 610 yards on the ground, but they've been a little bit more limited today, and it's just been that lack of possession somewhat. They've done better with the penalties. They had 20 combined penalties in those first 2 games, costing them 115 yards. They have only had a few penalties on them today. And they need to punch this one in. Most have been hurt. Blomgren missed his first PAT, and then they went with the going for 2 and did not get it. So that is the reason for the odd score of 12. Walbert under center. A little dink-and-dunk pass outside to Turner, who avoids a few defenders, and he's going to pick up about 9. Coach Chris will use another timeout with the clock down to 55. And they're going to rule it at the 11-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 2. The Trojans in purple, dearly trying to punch it in here. And then Petaluma will kick off to Terra Linda to start the second half. So their defense has been playing better, but you need a touchdown is a must here, the way things have been going. 3 fumbles on the Trojans. Trojans have 1 interception, but they were stopped on a fourth and 3 they went for. They've punted once. They've scored 2 touchdowns, but they missed the PAT, missed a 2-point conversion. So you can see just things have not turned out right in some instances between 2 very even teams today. Trojans need that. Both these teams so experienced. Both have looked a lot better than last year. Over the middle, Turner was open, but it was tipped by the defensive back for Terra Linda, and that saved the touchdown. Big 3rd down and 3 there as the Trojans took a shot. Turner was open, but it's a defensive backfield that has really limited the Trojans. No man in the backfield, and Turner keeps on doing, probably it's been his most success today. 3rd time today he has drawn people, a Terra Linda player, offsides, and that will give them a 1st and goal. They still have 1 timeout remaining, 51 seconds left. Up the middle. Touchdown for the Trojans. It was Walbert giving it to Ralston. It was a quick handoff before the Terra Linda defense looked ready. The vuvuzela, or whatever that horn is sounded. It's 28-18, and a 2-point conversion would be big here. It would make it a 1-possession game with only 46 seconds remaining before the half on a sun-splashed day here in northern San Rafael, the Terra Linda neighborhood of this fine Marin city. They'll go for 2. Wilbur, hand up the middle. Ralston dives. He's right at the goal line there. I think he's in. He is. A big conversion there. Jacob Ralston showing why he's so talented, why he broke out last year and showed he was going to be the starting running back in a crowded backfield. And right now he has become the workforce. He's bounced back from 2 fumbles, and it's a 1-possession game, 28-20, and the Trojans would have to hope that they could limit Terra Linda in these last 46 seconds and have a 1-possession game at the half. So Blomgren to kick it away, and doing that same thing with the fake onside kick. 46 seconds remaining here on this Cork infield. It really picks up heat, so it might be 85 degrees, but it really feels like about 95 on the field because it just absorbs heat. Blomgren will boot it away, and this one is going to skip all the way into the end zone for a touchback, and the PAT wasn't pretty, but he has confidence on his kickback, and Terra Linda will start at the 20. See if Terra Linda tries anything or if they decide to head to the locker room satisfied with a 1-possession lead, and it looks like the answer is a knee. There's the knee. They will need to use it one more time with over 40 seconds left on the clock, and that will be it. Terra Linda 28, Petaluma 20, as the teams will head to the locker room. Wind is picked up, but the Trojans in a dogfight here down in Marin. There's the second knee, and that is it. Teams will head to the locker room Trojans have to regain their confidence after that last touchdown drive with the 2-point conversion. Justin Wolbert efficiently orchestrated that last drive, and right now those turnovers are what the Trojans will have to fix, but they only trail the other Trojans 28-20. All right, Petaluma trailing Terra 28-20 at the half. I am Griffin Epstein, executive producer of your Trojan Live Sports Department down here in San Rafael. A very interesting first half, probably defined by those 3 turnovers that definitely cost the Trojans 3 fumbles, all by Ralston. The last one was a key play ripped out of his hands and taken back for what they call a scoop for 6. However, the Trojans, every time they were down, battled back. They have 3 nice touchdown drives. They had another where they turned it over on downs in the red zone. And really, this game has been even, if not the Trojans of Petaluma have outplayed Terra Linda, if not for those turnovers. The Trojan defense does have 1 interception, and with the defense scoring once, besides 2 long touchdown runs by Colby Johnson, who the Trojans of Petaluma need to control, Terra Linda has been very limited. They have just 1 full touchdown drive, while Justin Wolbert has gotten better as the game got along. They have not got a big rhythm passing-wise, but he has executed the triple option very well, taking it himself. Jacob Ralston has battled back through those fumbles, and he has regained his confidence, while Dominic Ayers has gotten those short yards, and they only trail by 8. Keys for the second half for the Trojans of Petaluma. Obviously, no turnovers. They cannot afford to lose that, but they want to keep those long touchdown drives going. If they can wear down that Terra Linda defense, by the fourth quarter, it is sweltering out here. They are going to be tired. They're not going to be able to contain that run. If the Trojans of Petaluma can, I think, run it down, get that Terra Linda defense tired it out there a lot, that is going to be their best way to winning this game. And with the Trojan defense not on the field a lot, the defensive line has caused problems for the O-line for Terra Linda. And that will be how the Trojans of Petaluma, the good guys, get the victory. 28-20, the second half is coming up right here on Trojan Live. Thanks for tuning in, and a tight game. The conclusion is right here. All right, we have relocated up top. Music is still playing, so still very loud. But the heat too hot down on the field anymore, and you got a good angle up top of the Terra Linda press box. Thank you for their accommodations. 30 seconds remaining on the clock till the start of the second half, and both teams looking hyped up and ready for the end of what should be a great battle. Blomgren will kick it away to Terra Linda.
Terra Linda Stadium. So far, this game has lived up to its billing of 2 very good offensive teams.
Both teams not wanting to take their first loss of the season, with Terra Linda heading into league play next week, and the Trojans have the Egg Bowl next week before facing Annalee, which should be a big SCL title game. And then they don't have a home game, officially a home game, until after that, of course, playing all their home games this season at Casa due to the construction of Ellison Field, which will be ready in the spring. A nice artificial turf, just like here at Terra Linda. Blomgren ready to kick it away, and he has had some good ones. This one's a little shorter. Takes a bounce at the 30. Ball came out. Few Trojans of Petaluma dive on it, but
Michael New
was able to hold on to it. Terra Linda will start this second half drive at their 26. As we mentioned, only really 1 full long drive down the field for them. They have 2 big rush plays by Johnson, and the defensive line, as you can see once again, has really imposed their will more and more.
Takes up the middle for
Zabel maybe picked up half a yard there. And it was the whole defensive line there for the Trojans, helping to stifle anything. Good community event here at Terra Linda. Stands have filled up for them, but as if the Petaluma fans have come out in force too. Looking downfield, and he's got a man at the 40.
Peters completes the pass to Simpkins out to
Peters
the
hasn't done a whole lot of downfield passes, but he found Simpkins at the 40 at the comeback route there. Awfully nice.
Eric
And
Diaz takes Simpkins down.
I think the key there was he just had some time in the pocket to settle back and did not have to rush anything.
1st and 10 from the 41.
And we talked about how the Trojans can wear down the Terra defense, but Terra would like to do the same thing vice versa. Both teams have shown how good offensively they can be, putting up 40 points, and we could definitely see both of these teams putting up 40 points when this one is over. Up the middle, and
Zabrick.
not a lot to go for Zabrick.
Derek Pomey pulled him down.
Derek Pomey again, and he has an interception, at least 3 tackles in this one. He has been
2nd and 7.
everywhere in that middle position for the Trojans. The junior linebacker, also a member of FFA, and also was on the JV baseball team last year, and a wrestler. A 3-sport athlete, but he has shown why he's a football player first. Peters giving some instruction to wide receiver, who will split out to the right. In the gun. He's got some time, looking over the middle, it's caught!
Peters with the...
It was
Simpkins
again, who found a little hole in the Trojan zone. I apologize for the PA announcer screaming behind me.
1st and 10, Terra
Down to the 30, and 2 really nice throws, and you can already see that the game plan has changed for Terra Linda, whose running has not, except for those 2 big plays by Johnson, hasn't done a whole lot. But right now the passing game with a talented quarterback with Peters has been effective. Under 10 to go here in the 3rd. 28-20 Terra Linda. Handoff up the middle.
Zabrick up the middle.
Zabrick. Couple yards on the pickup.
Good for 5.
We'll give him 5.
In on that tackle.
Nick Ayers, the junior, with the tackle.
2nd down.
And that will bring up a 2nd and about 4. It's Terra Linda trying to march down into the Petaluma red zone. A little diamond formation. And nowhere to go this time. Trojan defense slows down Martinez, who's done little. It's really been Zabrick, and then the change of pace, Johnson, who's broken off those 2 big runs. Nick Ayers, another tackle. Ayers had just 1 tackle before this game, so a good one for him. And just his 3rd game on the varsity team. A lot of the juniors have provided a lot of energy for mostly a senior class team for the Trojans. Peters fakes the handoff. He's under pressure, but he finds a man breaking down. He breaks 1 tackle, and he's down to the 3.
Keenan Swenson.
Peters waited on the big head. He got it away, and Swenson got down to the 4. And an impressive play there by Peters, who's showing his merit, and the Trojans have something to be concerned about right now, because Peters has found something with the arm. Under center is Peters. It's Zabrick in the backfield. He fakes it and takes it himself, and he gets around Turner, and he's into the end zone. Matt Peters, who the PA announcer calls the pistol. I don't know if he's Pete Maverick, but he looked awfully good on that drive. That has to be Terra Linda's best drive of the day, and credit to the coaching staff for Terra Linda, as they looked ready coming out of halftime, and they went right down the throats of the Trojan defense. No doubt about it. Richard Looney, the coach, Terra Linda, and it looks like they're going to try to again. They're 2 for 3 on 2-point conversions. Low snap. He's got a man, but I think he's short.
It's good.
No, it was good coverage, but Martinez just sneaked in, and that was enough.
And Terra leads 36.
Max Shattuck was on the coverage there, and he did a good job, but Peters is looking very good right now. And the Trojan defense is going to have to meal on the sideline, or at least the ones that are on the sideline. Many of them play the offense about how to stop them, and the Trojan offense will hope to continue most of their success.
Petaluma.
This ball will be a bouncer, and the Trojans will just dive on it.
By Weissman,
who
the 29-yard line.
The PA announcer has been calling wrong all day, will land on it at the 26. Wolbert on her center, and Ralston in the backfield, who is getting better. And Ralston breaks the tackle, and he has just gotten a shoelace tackle at the 42.
Rollins powers up the middle for a Petaluma.
He had broken that, he might have been dancing in the end zone now. But still a 12-yard pickup, and as Peters has gotten better, so is Ralston. And Terra defense has struggled to contain him. First down and 10 at the 43 for the Trojans. Hand up the middle. That is Ralston. No, it's Ayers. Dominic Ayers. Got an 8-yard pickup.
Picks up about 7.
And so far, the Trojans plugging away with this run game. They want to wear it down. They want to have long 5-minute drives. They're often ugly, but that is an effective way to wear down a defense, especially on a hot afternoon. And Terra defense looking a little tired. They've been on the field a fair amount with a lot of quick possessions for the Terra offense. Wolbert sends the man in motion, hand up the middle. You can see not a lot to go by Ayers, who stood up. However, it is enough for the first down. About 3-yard pickup. Penalty this drive late after the play. The refs calling an illegal shift. Trojans back up 5, and now it's 2nd and 7. Hand off again to Ayers. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the man in motion who came around, and it's Wolbert who came around.
Nice gain for Petaluma. All the way
Fake, they hand it off to Ayers.
Before Johnny Tarantino finally takes it.
Wolbert's fooled me all day, half the time when he has the ball. And he does it once again. And he's got a lot of speed in the open field. Already 88 rushing yards on the season before today, including a 76-yarder. No, I'm sorry, a 14-yarder, 2 rushing touchdowns. He did have 2 fumbles, but he has not been the one fumbling today for the Trojans. Under 5 to go. And the Trojans are doing exactly what they like, a long, methodical drive. The only danger is if they're still down, they're not going to be able to do it later in the game. Ralston up the middle, and Terra continues to try to just tug the ball away from him, but he's going to hold on to that ball very tight now.
Ayers
2nd and 6.
Met by a couple of Trojans there.
Their offensive line, we did mention earlier, True Overton, the returning senior at left guard, next to Haggard. And Crysdale, some beat on the other side. Carly in the middle. Dominic Ayers plugging away again. And he has really, over the last 2 games, asserted himself as the backup running back behind Ralston, if it's not Freitas, and Turner the change of pace back. Eric Diaz, we thought, would be more involved, but we've just seen a lot more of him on special teams. He just has 3 carries on the season, but Ayers has to have at least 40 today. After just 230 yards last year, which was not a lot compared to Ralston's 430, and of course that's not even talking about the all-league Dominic Cristobal, who's now graduated. First down. Oh, miscommunication there, and it works out well for the Trojans. Turner thought he wanted the ball. I don't think Wilbur wanted to give it to him.
Makes something out of nothing and gets 8 for Petaluma.
Turner decided to take it, and then Terra Linda was so confused on what they were trying to do, and Turner turns out getting 8 there. Leon with the tackle for Terra Linda. And this is already a 4-minute long drive here. And this is going to leave your Terra Linda defense very tired. And struggling forward for the first down is it Ayers or Ralston? It is Ayers.
Up the middle for another Petaluma first down.
It wasn't very nice of them to choose 22 and 21 when they're featured so much, but they are the Trojan mainstays. And
first and
under 3 to go.
15.
And the Trojans have entered the red zone of Terra Linda at the 15. And I believe this time it's a false start. We saw Wolbert draw off Terra Linda 3 times before. Nope, it's gonna drew him offsides again. 4th time. He has got Terra Linda to jump. And that is the experience of Wolbert. We never saw that from Wolbert last year, but he is so good with the hard count. He's just so smart. He's probably taken AP Psychology with Miss Archibald and could just read the minds of Terra Linda at this point. But he needs to turn this drive into 6. And then the Trojans need a pivotal 2-point conversion after. This is Ayers again, who's becoming the workhorse on this drive.
Close to a first down.
And after the 1st and 5, it's going to be a 2nd and 2.
Just short.
So the Egg Bowl next week, do not forget to tune into that on Trojan Live. We hope to be live streaming it. If not, it will be up on our channel that evening after the game concludes. And again to Ayers. This time they drive him backwards. But I think its forward progress might have given him the first down after Zabrik drew him back. And indeed, it will be 1st and goal. And this drive has already taken more than half of the quarter. We've only seen 2 drives. Terra Linda had its best drive of the day. And the Trojans have answered. It's been long and methodical, and this is they had a lot of quick strikes against Montgomery and some against Santa Rosa, but that's not their methodology. And against good defenses, this is how the Trojans will be effective. Handoff again. This time Terra Linda has Ayers going nowhere. Injury time out there, but both teams will get a little bit of a breather. 30 seconds of counting. Trojans 2 yards out from plunging it in. A long, good drive, and Ayers is in. It's Ralston, actually. His 2nd touchdown of the day. That drive, though, credit has to go to Dominic Ayers. He was the workhorse back there. He really showed his mettle on that. And now a huge 2-point conversion coming up. After Terra Linda converted theirs, the Trojans really need this and make it continue to have it a 1-possession game. 36-26, 21 seconds remaining. And it's been much more mistake-free. A quick 3rd quarter on these long, long drives. It's Ralston in the backfield behind Wolbert to send the man in motion. Hand off to Ralston. I believe he got there.
It's good.
He did. 2-point conversion is huge for Ralston, and that is how you answer. Every time Terra Linda has punched the other Trojans in the mouth, the Trojan offense has come back and kept this a game, and we're back to a 1-possession game, 36-28, 21 seconds remaining here in the 3rd. Blomgren to kick it away, 21 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Another good long Trojan drive. Right now, still losing that turnover battle by 2. Though, you wonder, do the Trojans need to force one more to win this game? Picked up. He's got some blockers. Down the sideline, he tiptoes. That's a nice methodical run by Simpkins, who had 2 big catches down on that last Terra Linda drive. And they will start at the 35 with 15 seconds remaining. as we'll see what they can do. Trojan defense really needs to come up with a stop here. They cannot afford to give it back to their offense and have it be a two-possession game again in the fourth. It's been a back and forth battle here, but it's mostly been Terra Linda up by a little bit. And right now, that scoop and six that teared out of Jacob Ralston's hands and taken the other way by Terra Linda for 6 is the difference in this one. Up the middle, not a lot to go there. It's Zabrick who's been the best running back. We haven't seen a lot of Johnson, and that is going to do it. 3 quarters in the box. It's going to be an epic fourth quarter. Do not go anywhere. It's Terra Linda 36. It's Petaluma 28.
36 to 2. Peter's pass is...
I didn't have my mic on for what might just be the game-changing play. Jacob Ralston with a huge interception. He tipped it in the air. He read Peter's pass perfectly. And I mentioned Petaluma, did they need another turnover? They could not lose the turnover battle by 2 after 3 fumbles in the first half. They've just gotten that interception. They've gotten the ball right back. And after that, Terra Linda defense was on the field for 7 consecutive minutes in the third quarter. They are handed a job right back out to them in a sweltering sun, and you know the Trojans are going to give it more to Ralston and Ayers and pound it down. But this time it's Wolbert. 1 man to beat. Jacob, Justin Wolbert, gone. Touchdown Trojans. That was fast.
Wolbert keeps it and takes it in for a 35-yard touchdown run.
Justin Wolbert fake the pass. Terra Linda was expecting the pitch. He's done that a lot. He shows his speed, his second rushing touchdown of the season, and the Trojans are a 2-point conversion away from tying this one up. Jacob Ralston with maybe the key interception, and you could tell the Terra Linda defense did not have a lot there. They were not wanting to get the ball right back.
If you're thirsty, the Snack Shack is restocked with plenty of water.
11:44 remaining, and a big 2-point conversion, trying to tie this one up at 36.
Petaluma's going to go for 2 to tie the game.
Wolbert under center. Man comes in motion. It's a fake. Oh, Justin Wolbert.
And it's good, and Wolbert takes...
Unbelievable. What a fake. He fooled everybody once again, and he got strutted to the end zone. It is 36-36, and just like that, the Trojans have tied it up with the other Trojans, and we have a great battle as the Trojans were down 16 points not too long ago. But a huge interception by Ralston, and Justin Wolbert shows why he is a dual threat quarterback. And what a change in this one. Ralston's made a lot of big plays in his high school career, but there might not be one bigger than that. He has 3 tackles, 3 assisted tackles on the year. And now he has a key interception, and just one play it took for Justin Wolbert to go 38 yards into the end zone, his longest run of the year. And Isaiah Blumgren will give it back to the Terra Linda offense, who hasn't had it a whole lot. Down the sideline, he hops over a man. 1 man to beat. Can Blumgren get him? No, he can't, but he slowed him down enough that he was brought down to the 35. But a huge play by Simpkins, who hurdled a man trying to tackle him. Crysdale brought him down from behind. Blumgren really saved the touchdown by just getting in his way. And a huge momentum shift there for Terra Linda, who needed something to pick them up. What a game of hills and valleys for both teams. Who can hold their composure? Who can make the big plays? Who can make the least amount of mistakes? Peters scrambling, looking downfield, turning, and intercepted! Isaiah Blomgren has done it again! He read the eyes perfectly! A poor decision by Peters! And the Trojans have picked off him again! And they get the ball back! With 11:26, Blomgren was all over his receiver. A horrible decision by Peters. And Blomgren shows that he is also a wide receiver with a nice catch. He made an interception last week, and he has done it once again. Petaluma trying to take the lead now for the first time in this game. And we have whistles. And I believe a timeout. Terra, not a bad decision, as they need a breather. Their poor defense right now has just been out there. They must seem like them forever with no rest, with those now back-to-back interceptions. That turnover battle is even at 3, and that is key. Trojans have it at the 14, and there are 10 men up here, up the middle. And that shows the mentality the Trojans are going to want to take on that 4-yard pickup there by Ralston. They're going to try to just go right up the middle on a Terra defense that has to be absolutely exhausted. And why even try throwing the ball unless you want to get Blomgren on one-on-one on a tired cornerback. But right now you're going to get a defensive line that's going to be hard to get any traction against an O-line that's beaming with confidence. Toss out wide. This is Turner. He excels in these plays. They drag him down, but not until he's at
Petaluma first down.
The 35.
Taken down by Martinez.
Martinez with the tackle. We have holding. It was a really nice setup, and that is probably the fly sweep for Turner, his best play. But that's a big holding penalty. And that what other makes a 15-yard pickup turn into now a 2nd and 14.
10 yards. 2nd and 15.
(10-18) and counting. And again, no receivers out. It's just right up the middle, except that he tosses out to Turner at the last second. A similar play there, but not enough blockers out wide that he maybe got back. Yeah, he got back to about the line of scrimmage, but it's still going to be a 3rd down and 10, and a big play here. The road to 3rd and 9. Wilbert rolls out. He's got a man chasing him. He's going to take it himself. It's a foot race. And Justin Wilbert is showing why he's such a double threat.
Picks up the Petaluma first down.
And he's got the first. What a play again. All 10 yards on the legs there as he just outran a very tired defense. And I believe Wilbert has just drawn Terra to offsides once again. Nope. Yep.
Offsides on the D.
5th time for Wilbert.
1st and 5 for Petaluma.
The hard count has been huge, and that just puts you so far ahead of schedule. Your whole playbook can really be open at 1st and 5, especially with a run game that's so effective. You can take a shot here and know that you're still in good position at 2nd and 5. And even a senior team like Terra has been so fooled. Wilbert bouncing off tackles, and
Wilbert keeps it
right at the first down, and that right here
Key and Anthony Moreno
is going to be the goal for the Trojans as Moreno gets the tackle along with Key. Is
but not before he gets another first down.
Another 7-minute drive, and they give Terra the ball back, trailing with maybe only 2 minutes left for Terra, just like they had that 7-minute drive in the 3rd. That is their brand of football, and they were really not able to play that in the first half, but they have here. Wolbert. Hand up ball on the ground. It's bobbled. It's still loose. And now picked up by Terra Linda. And all the way back to the 6. Marcus Silvera takes it. And Justin Turner could not hold on to the toss. It's hard to say who's to blame, but they had a fumble last week on a similar play.
First and goal.
Silvera bobbled it, which is the only reason he didn't score. But that changes everything, and now Terra Linda will have it. 9:18 left, and they will try to punch it in and retake the lead. My goodness. Peters on her center. Fakes. No, he did hand it off to the man in motion who darts into the end zone. Touchdown, Terra Linda.
Terra Linda Trojans. Dominic the Don Martinez.
Martinez hasn't done a lot today for Terra Linda, but he gets a key touchdown. And the Trojans' fourth fumble of the day cost them so dearly when it seemed like they had all the momentum to cruise right down the field against a tired Terra Linda defense. It's now Terra Linda 42, Petaluma 36.
Let's hear it, folks.
And it gets very interesting to see what they want to do here. Do they have any confidence in PAT kicker, or are they going to risk the 2-point conversion? I would say go with that. It's been effective for them. They're now 3 of 4. And they really had some very nice 2-point conversion plays, Terra Linda. But that looks like the kicker coming out to me. We'll see. And they'll get to the line quickly. And it indeed does look like a 2-point conversion. It's Peters in the gun. Looking to Blomgren in coverage. It's caught. Oh, a great play out wide. Over Blomgren. Simpkins has looked very good at wide receiver. It's an 8-point lead for Terra Linda. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have viewed a classic here at Terra Linda Field. 44-36. Terra Linda Trojans lead the Petaluma Trojans. Both teams undefeated on the season in a pivotal game. There aren't going to be too many tests like this, and this is huge for NCS seeding. Both teams have shown, I think, they're worthy of a home game in that first round of NCS, but that's not until November. They're not worried about this line drive caught by Jacob Havard. Not known for his speed, he's rather lanky. And a late hit!
Hayward.
Oh my!
A
big play there. He was knocked out by Leone. They're going to say he was over the white line, and I believe they're right. And just like that, the Trojans, I believe, are going to take over in Terra Linda territory. Late hit indeed. And Terra Linda fans aren't happy about it. Talked about who can keep their cool, and right there, Terra Linda did not, and very good field position, and it's still got to be a defense that just has been on the field a lot. Wolbert, one man to beat. He's down the sideline. He's got one man more to beat. Reaching for the goal line. Touchdown, and that should be another late hit. Unbelievable! Justin Wolbert has all the energy left in his legs.
48 yards.
48 yards on one play, and just like that, a 2-point conversion would tie this game right back up. Well, Wolbert faked it. Terra Linda again fooled, as they have just worked in so many nice tricks into this offense that have really fooled Terra Linda in the second half. They weren't as fooled in the first half, and Wolbert not really able to break free as much, but he got a hole again, and then he just outran the secondary. And his second big touchdown run, he's over 100 rushing yards. He doesn't have over 100 passing yards, but that's okay. Again, the Trojans will go for 2. They want to tie this one up. And then they'll send it back out to their defense, who is rested. They have not really. They have only been out for 2 plays since about a full quarter ago. It's Ralston in the backfield. They'll give it to him. That's worked. I don't. Did he get there? He did. Touch there. 2-point conversion.
It's good.
Well, it looked like Ralston was stopped at first, but he used that second effort to get in, and he is thrilled. And we are tied at 44. It has been an offensive shootout. It has been a lot of fun. And you do not see a lot of tie games with not under 9 remaining in the fourth. But that is what we are seeing here at Terra Field. A classic right here on Trojan Live. Delighted to bring it all to you. Don't forget to check out everything else on our YouTube channel, including all of our other football games. We have both the Montgomery game, the Santa Rosa game. As we mentioned, we will be hopefully live streaming the Casa game. If not, it will be uploaded right after. That includes both JV and Varsity. The only time we'll get JV, but such a big game with the Egg Bowl, and then we'll be on the road at all the other games, doing the same, getting this the complete broadcast at all home games with full on the field cameras and full anchors, and then just the one-man show on the road most of the time. But always on our channel. Then you can check out volleyball live stream this Thursday. Our volleyball team looking very good so far, 3-1 on the season, and they are going to have a big game against Sonoma. Couldn't decide the SCL championship game. We'll be live streaming that Thursday, 6 p.m. on our Trojan Live channel. It's an onside kick. Terra falls on it. Well, Blomgren had a couple times tried to do that and tried to catch Terra off guard. This time they actually went through with the play, but Terra was very ready, and instead of rushing at the ball, they waited till it came to them, and that time they held their cool. So good field position for Terra, but it's a rested defense. The key might be here, can they slow down Peter's arm, who looked very good in that third quarter drive. He's had a lot of time to think about it on the sideline, as they took over after that fumble, but they quickly punched it in. Just 2 plays for them in well over a quarter. We also have all our football games from last year. Check those out. Baseball, basketball, softball. Much more on our channel, and of course all our daily morning announcements. But back to the game. Peter's in the gun. He's got a man behind him. Man comes in motion. They think it's a Martinez. Peters tries to take it himself, and he is going nowhere. He loses it, and you can see this. The ball's coming out. At least the Trojan sideline was. They were jumping up and down. They're going to say no, but he lost a yard, and the Trojan defensive line rising up. They are experienced with Luke Haggard, Crysdale, DeCarly. It's pretty much their O-line with a few changes. And then Nick Hares and Hayden Fellier, along with Derek Pomey, have been very good at the middle linebacker spot today. It's just been a few big plays, and of course those turnovers. That's why that score is so high for Carolina at 44 points. It's not a lot of problem with the defense besides those big plays. 3 split out to the bottom of your screen. He fakes the toss. Crysdale was chasing. There's room for Martinez, and he is brought down just short of the first down. It was Zabluk, and it's going to be a big 3rd down and 2. This is the play of the game so far, as we are starting to reach late afternoon here. It has been a war of attrition, a shootout between 2 playoff teams, no doubt. Both experienced. It's a rematch from last year, but the Trojans really pulled away. Cristobal and his senior night took over in that one. The Trojans haven't had that, but they've had a much more experienced Justin Wolbert, who has had some big runs himself from the quarterback position, and then Dominic Ayers a strong game along with Jacob Ralston. Trojan fans on their feet, making noise. Peters under pressure. It's tipped. It's intercepted. It's Dominic Ayers. It was tipped at the Y. I'm not sure who got the tip. It might have been Haggard or Crysdale who was chasing after him, and then it was Dominic Ayers who made the catch. He knows how to do it on the offensive end. He's had a huge game, and now the Trojans of Petaluma take over with 7 minutes. Perfect time for them to have a long drive down the field and put away this game. They have still never had the lead, though. Wow. Wolbert under center. It's an exhausted Dominic Ayers behind him, but he's the hero right now. Turner in motion. And off to Ayers. And a solid pickup of 6, and that's been the difference late in this game. Terra Linda on their rushing plays, they're getting 2 or 3. The Trojans are getting 4, 5, 6. And then you're seeing Wolbert break those big plays. That has been absolutely key. 2nd and 4, and the momentum all on the guys in purple and white side. The sideline energized. It's Ayers again. Ralston's getting some rest right now, and they'll give it to Ayers. And this time he's driven back. So they're going to give forward progress to Dominic Ayers. And now a 3rd down and 2. Ralston in the backfield. And he has been the man to go to on the 2-point conversions, and he gets it once again. Pickup of 3, and now it's that slow, methodical driving. Clock under 6 and counting.
Wilston takes it up the middle.
Timeouts become important, and Petaluma has 2 timeouts remaining. And Petaluma has 3 timeouts remaining. Terra Linda with only 2. So we could see about potentially having to stop the clock later. Would be interesting. Ralston again in the backfield, and there are no wide receivers. It's 10 men at the line. Mono a mono. Oh, a great fake out to Turner. Can he get the edge? He's got the first, not the edge, but down to the 39, and the Trojans are fine with short pickups that continue to bleed the clock, even though he did go out of bounds. This time it's Dominic Ayers, and they pretty much rotated between those 2 running backs. With Turner the change of pace. Wolbert's got time. He lofts one, incomplete. Didn't have anywhere to go, and that's just a smart play from Justin Wolbert to throw it away there. He's being chased. Don't take the negative game. An interesting play call, though, to even go to the pass game. They've just, right now, ran it down the gut at Terra Linda, and that has worked. Instead, it's 3rd and 6. You're definitely not in field goal range, especially not the way Blomgren's looked with his foot today. Just been a little bit off. At the 39, you gotta be in 2-down territory, no doubt, with 5:17. So you call the play that way. This is where Wolbert's broken away for 2 touchdowns already. Ralston in the backfield. Man comes in motion. It is Ralston battling. Is he at the first? I think he's going to be a yard short. Yes. They're going to balk it a yard and a half short. The ref is going to spot him right at the 35.
Taken down by Jackson.
The first down marker is about the 33.
2 yards to
4th and 2. What a play this is. Tie game. 44-44. Under 5. Trojans against Trojans. Petaluma trying to convert and keep this drive going. Ralston in the backfield. Hand up the middle. He didn't get much first, but he dives ahead. Jacob Ralston, that's called perseverance. He was stopped at first. There was nothing there, but he bounced off. He found a little room to the outside. He dived forward, and he just picks up enough for a huge first down. And under 4:30 and counting, can the Trojans punch it in and give Terra Linda as little time as possible to answer? That is the goal. Wolbert sends the man in motion. This time he takes it himself, and he's upended. Terra Linda was not fooled that time.
Jackson Zabrick and Anthony Moreno.
Zabrickin with the tackle. Maybe picked up a yard or 2.
Jackson Moreno.
It was Moreno with the tackle.
Anthony.
And under 4, and the Trojans have been milking the clock, letting a lot of time go off. They can't be too methodical, as then they could be racing against the clock to get in. It's Wolbert under center, and now it's Ayers, and they have got equal success with both. Wolbert tries to pass. He avoids one on his back foot. Dangerous. He tried to find, I think that was That was theirs trying to split out. Incomplete. Hayden Failure again, just one catch. He has a lot of blocking, but he's such a big force. They have not looked for him a whole lot out of the slot. He averages just one catch a game, and that's been the way he's been. 3:24 to go. Rule that Wolver got nothing on that drive before, so this is third and a full 10, but again, it's fourth down territory here, so you gotta play this like you're gonna have another possession, I would assume. I don't think Blomgren's gonna get a field goal out here. They'll toss out to Turner. Turner trying to break a man. He's brought down.
Turner is taken down by Jackson.
He picks up 2 yards, and Coach Christ has a monumental decision to make. 3 minutes remaining. This would be a 48-yarder for Blomgren. He has a big leg, but he hasn't looked good at all today. It's 4th and 8, and I would doubt that he would come out. Coach Christ calling in the play, scratching his head. Under 3 minutes, and this looks like the 4th down. The Terra Linda coach is trying to encourage the defense, and now they're making noise. They are really getting that crowd revved up, but this is a monster play. You do not see a whole lot of high school games come back last 3 minutes, and Coach Chris calls timeout. Not a bad decision. The biggest play of the game, and this could be the season-defining play for the Trojans right here. 4th and 8. Do they run, or do they put the ball in the hands of Wolbert, who's not done a lot of passing today? I think he just has 3 completions. It's been a little bit disappointing passing-wise. He's 13 for 24 on the season with 215 passing yards, 5 touchdown passes. But they've mostly opted for the run today. Terra Linda's defense very tired, though. I don't think the timeout's a bad decision. But they've been on the field a lot. The tosses have not worked to Justin Turner. They've tried that. Do you just try airs up the middle? Do you try a fake to Wolbert? But will they be fooled is the question. This place is hopping. What a finish. 2:36 to go. 44-44. Both teams will now have 2 timeouts left. One team will be undefeated. One will go home with a bitter taste in their mouth. In the end, both teams have played well enough to win this one. The Trojans have definitely been the better team in the second half. Turnovers have really cost them the game, at least being this close. They got the first. 4th and 8. Fans making noise. Ralston in the backfield. He fakes. He rolls. He has some room to run. He's just thinking about it. He's got Ralston. First down for the Trojans. A huge play. Jacob Ralston
connects
with the catch. Only his 3rd completion of the day. He had no completions in the second half, but they trusted Wolbert's arm, the senior. It didn't matter that he hadn't passed a lot. He rolled right out. He was patient, and Ralston broke free as he had the time. The offensive line did a great job, and the clock will continue to run. The Trojans in the red zone trying to punch it in on what would be a very, very memorable drive. And we'll see if Terra Linda uses any of their timeouts. They have 2 if they want to conserve time. Trojans are rolling down that clock to as small as possible. Handoff. No! Fake by Wolbert down to the 5. And that time it was very well designed. They hadn't fooled them the last 2 times, but the defense collapsed on Ralston. The great read by Wolbert, just so smart with his head. And now at the 5, and the Trojans will try to take their as much time as possible, that is the Petaluma Trojans, to avoid giving Terra Linda as little time as possible. 44-44, 128 and counting. That's Ralston behind Wolbert. What a game Jacob has had. They'll give it to him. And he's in! Touchdown Trojans with 1:17 to go. Petaluma, their first lead of the game. Oh my goodness. Terra Linda scratching their heads. They don't know what happened. And it's going to come down to the defense with 117. A very interesting decision, though, first. Do you go for 2? The Trojans a little less effective going for 2. They're 2 for 4. Wisman will enter. This looks like they're going for 2. I don't see Isaiah Blomgren in that huddle. Indeed, and they have just handed the last few possessions. Ralston has just been able to get those 2 yards. He's so powerful, and he has completely forgotten about those 3 fumbles he had in the first half. Man comes in motion. They'll do the same thing. Ralston in, and it's an 8-point game. Jacob Ralston has taken this one over under the power of his legs. 44, 52, 44. The Trojans reach 50 points. You can see they are going crazy in the stands and on the sidelines. What a victory this could be. But the Trojan defense will need to stand up tall and make one last stop, and that will be a challenge. Peters has looked good in the second half. He just has not had a lot of time. It's a well-rested sides on both sides. Can the Trojan defense come up with one last stop? They have had some huge interceptions, 3 interceptions on this one, 4 turnovers on both sides in the end. The Trojans needed those turnovers, but it was a long offensive drive there, including converting a 4th and 8. If the Trojans can pull this out, you will remember that Wolverd pass to Ralston as the key play. They play Don't Stop Believing here at Terra Stadium. 1:17 to go. Trojans trying to go to 3-0. And if they could pull this out, going undefeated is not a question unknown. Costs a struggle. The Egg Bowl is the Egg Bowl. That's next week. And then it's a Annalee team that is really down. Is there any SCL team that can challenge Petaluma? They have stood up to the test today, faced so much adversity, and it just seemed in the first half like maybe things wouldn't go right for them, and they just would not be able to go out. I mean, they had 3 fumbles, and sometimes the teams just cave it in, and you say, today's not our day. But the Trojans have battled back. Wolverd and Ralston and Ayers have been the leaders, but there's been some big plays on defense too. It's a short kick. It's picked up and going nowhere is the Terra defender. Great coverage by the special teams. Simpkins has had some nice returns, but not this time. He's getting up a little slowly. Crysdale with the big tackle. He was hurt earlier, but he looks fine. Trojan fans are on their feet, ready to lead their team to victory. The fans that have made about the 30-yard drive south here to Marin, San Rafael. Terra will start at their own 26, needing to go 74 yards to the end zone in 113 plus a 2-point conversion, and that would send this game to overtime if they could. The Trojan defense needs to make a stop. Can their young secondary come up big? Will their defensive line carry them to it? Peters has a man. It's a low throw. Did he catch it? He did.
Peters' pass is complete to Silvera.
Not the best throw by Peters. If he had let him a little more, he might have gotten some more yards. But it's still 6. However, that clock is already running. Only 2 downs for Terra. And they're letting that clock run, and they got to hurry up. The clock down to 47 now, and still running, and they're going to have to use some spikes. They're going to have to pass farther downfield. Except for some big runs, running hasn't been effective. Low snap. Peters stays alert. He's chased. Luke Haggard takes him down. A massive sack. Luke Haggard. I'm sorry, that's Crysdale. They're both big. They can look the same. Both 200-pound plus. Big, muscular men that wrestle Peters to the ground. Terra has to call timeout. 1 timeout remaining for them. They're in dire straits. It is 3rd and very long for Terra. The Trojans of Petaluma need 2 more stops, and they could put this game in the books. And boy, would this be a sweet one. Scheduled for the Trojans, as we mentioned, the Egg Bowl, 3 p.m. live stream on Trojan Live, hopefully next Saturday. Then they're at Annalee Friday night. The 22nd back home against Sonoma Valley, who's not a bad squad. They challenged the Trojans last year. Have a strong defense, so that'd be interesting. That's on the 29th. At Pioneer on the 7th. That's a Saturday. Homecoming against the Healdsburg squad that beat San Rafael last night on the 13th. But they've got a man out wide. He spins but goes nowhere. Not at least far enough. Maybe 3 or 4 yards. As they found Martinez. And that will bring up the 4th down. And this is it. They will use another timeout after Healdsburg on the road at Elmo. It's a team that lost a lot of seniors from last year. They're a physical team, but Trojans would be favored there. It's on the 20th, Friday night. Senior night will be a Saturday night against LC due to Coss having a game. A potential NCS playoff game would be Labor Day weekend on the 10th or the 11th. Defensive line coach Danny pumping up the crowd on their feet. Cowbells ringing. 4th down, and this is the ball game here with 25 seconds left. One last stop, and the Trojans could move to 3-0 for what would be a sweet, sweet comeback victory. Here we go. In the gun. He has time. He's just going to pump it downfield. It's a jump ball. And complete. And that's going to do it. The Petaluma Trojans came back from 16 points in the 3rd quarter. And they are going to get a huge victory. They're going to go to 3-0. They showed grit. They showed class. They come back. They did not cave down when they had 3 fumbles in the first half. And their offense, Jacob Rolston, Dominic Ayers, Justin Wolbert, bringing them back. Their defense with key turnovers. All they need is a knee now to finish this one. Terra Linda has no timeouts left, and there is nothing they can do about stopping the clock. All it be was one very, very sweet knee for Justin Wolbert. Unbelievable stuff. What a game. What a test. Wolbert takes the knee, and that is it. Terra Linda is shocked. Petaluma Trojans, what a victory. Both teams deserved to win, while Petaluma had the more grit, the more moxie. They were fresher at the end, and they could not stop Justin Wolbert at the offense, could Terra Linda. The teams will have handshakes. The clock strikes 0. Should be some exciting interviews next. It's Petaluma 52, Terra Linda 40. Petaluma 52, Terra Linda 44. Interviews are next. After the victory here with Jacob Rolston, starting running back for the Trojans, had some tough breaks early in the game with those fumbles. How did you keep your head up and keep on playing well, and how did the team?
I just kept pushing, honestly. Like, it was mostly my team. Like, I had my head down most of it, but my team picked me up. It's all family effort.
And the O-line really was paving paths for you in the second half. How much credit do you give to them, and how much important are they for the success of the running backs?
I give all credit to them. They really stepped it up today. They showed them what they're made of, and they just took control of the whole game. This
team was down early. It looked like that might just not go your way. What does it do for the confidence level of this team going forward?
It gives a lot of excitement to us and shows what the next team, shows the next team what we're going to be able to do and scare them, I guess.
Cost is next week. It's the Egg Bowl. How are you going to avoid the distractions and just focus on football and try to beat the biggest rival?
Just focus on us and stay off social media because everybody's going to be talking. So just, stay as a team and do what we do.
Thank you, Jacob. We are, hopefully everybody's in the picture. I can't see. We are here with the entire starting O-line and a couple other players. Coach Chris was talking about how you guys really helped the team in the first half when things were not going your way. How did you keep the energy on the sideline when everybody else's heads was down?
We just got to pull for each other, do it for the man next to you, do it for your brother.
Just keep pounding it. We just kept pounding it and pounding it, and we got them, and they came soft, and we just kept going, and they couldn't stop us.
Second half, you guys were just running over Terra Linda. What was the key to that?
Keep pushing.
We soft. They were soft.
Hey, they talked with their mouths, we talked with our pads.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys got Casa next week. Obviously, a big win here, but how do you turn your focus to that, and do you think is going to be the key to that?
Just like every other week, got to prepare mentally, physically, and just got to keep grinding. Emotionally, just got to keep grinding every single day, get better and better.
As the O-line, what do you feel like your importance is on this team and their success?
Everything. We're the backbone of the team. We just got to keep going. If we're not good, the team's not good, and then we lose. We just got to keep grinding. We got to keep grinding.
If we're not on our A game, somebody's going to get hurt, and that's on us.
I'm backup, but they're a heart of the team, man.
Thank you guys so much. With Coach Chris, unbelievable win today. You talked about the O-line in the team huddle. How important were they, especially in the first half, helping the team keep their heads high?
Well, I think they played well the whole game. We fumbled the ball away a lot in the first half, but the line was still playing really well. I mean, I thought they were the better on the line than Terra Linda, but they just kept plugging away, and it allowed us to kind of pound the ball, and that's what they like to do, and they were pretty excited. So, yeah, I think they carried our offense for this game.
Game was it was back and forth, but Terra Linda had the lead almost the whole game. What was the turning point that helped you guys take the lead late in the fourth?
Their turnovers were huge for us. We had a couple of really key interceptions that gave us an opportunity, and then we were able to wear them down with our offense. So they were tired, and hats off to them because they played very well, especially in the first half. Had some big plays against us. I don't think we were really expecting a talented team as they were. So they shocked us in the beginning. We were lucky to get out of this one.
How much can the team learn from all the adversity, and they could have just put their heads down with the tough breaks at the end to come back for the rest of the season?
Well, I think everybody had some negative things go on today, and including the coaching staff. I think the big thing is just to stay positive and to look out for each other and making sure that guys aren't getting down on themselves, and try to bounce back after mistakes and things like that.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, what a unbelievable game today. Great interviews. Thank you to Coach Chris for the interview. Thank you for the entire O-line. They have to be the MVPs today. Big game for Derek Pomey on the defense, who came up with those key turnovers that we talked about, and also Jacob Ralston with the help of the O-line, and Dominic Ayers really tore down the defense for Terra Linda, which got very tired. An unbelievable game. I have to say, best game I have covered as a member of Trojan Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Final score was, they've taken it off the scoreboard. Yes, they have. Trojans won by 8, though, today. I believe it was 52-44 is the final. Unbelievable. Great game, Daniel. And the O-line, as we mentioned, carrying the Trojans, but they will have to turn it around. They come back. They got those key turnovers in this one, but then they just have to bounce back next Saturday. Really physical team, Terra Linda, but they showed they had more moxie. They're going to need it next week, though. Casa might be 0-2, but they're going to be hungry. They might not have it. It might not be a huge season for them. Next game is their Super Bowl, but it's also the Trojans' Super Bowl. It's the Egg Bowl. It returns after 6 years of dormancy. The Trojans have not won since 2009 in that series. They'll be favored, but they are going to have to play even better than they did today. There's going to be more adversity in that. Can they bounce back? We will be live, hopefully, 3 p.m. for Varsity, 12 o'clock for JV. It should be a classic over at Casa. It will be a full community event, much more than a rivalry, they say. So looking forward to it. But what a great game here today. Thank you for everybody in Trojan Live that makes it possible. Thank you to everybody on the interview team, on the sideline, and in the press box for allowing me to be there. Thank you to Matthew Kalemba for his help with producing, Mr. Knox teacher, and everyone at Trojan Live. I'm Griffin Epstein. Thank you so much for tuning in to this high-octane classic. The Trojans remain undefeated, 3-0, as they get the victory 52-44. So long. Thanks for tuning in.